Welcome to the BPM September Kss edition, a very special edition. Like we know, we'll open it up to the whole church so that we can all learn together. Thank you for that thumbs up. The host also kindly make Blessed Ido a co-host, please. I'll truly appreciate that. Blessed Ido, if you can make him a co-host also. Thank you. All right. Mr. Abo Abolariwa, my evangelist. Good morning, good morning. And my sister, Abolade also, good morning. Please, my evangelist, I will want you to do me the honor. We want to start on time this morning. So I'll love you to do the honor of starting us up with prayers as we kick off with our KXS this morning. So if you don't mind unmuting and lead us in prayer this morning. Thank you, Mr. Abolariwa, my evangelist.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. I hope I'm audible. Yeah.
Yes, you're very audible.
Let us pray. Gracious Father, King of Glory, we are grateful for life. We are thankful that you have blessed us with another opportunity to see a bright new day. It is such a privilege. It is never a right, and we are never taking it for granted. We honor, we adore you. Please accept our praises. Gracious Father, even as we go into this session, I pray that your Spirit will lead us. Please grant us the wisdom to be able to do everything in line with your will and your purpose. Grant all of us an attentive ear. Help us that we'll be able to learn greatly to better our life personally and to be able to be a giver even in the church. Father, we are thankful for people that you have put together to be able to sacrifice and to give lessons that can enhance life. I pray that you bless them. Please lead and direct every of the proceedings this morning and let your name be exalted. We praise you, we worship you. In your son's mighty name, we have prayed with thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, my evangelist. Always a pleasure seeing you on the platform. Anytime I see evangelist on our BPM platform, it's very encouraging to show the value that you also place on empowering our members. It's so key that we work together as a team. So I really want to say a big thank you for just being there and working with us as a team. Like, today is a special edition, and but I'm going to start off. We have many of our brothers and sisters also joining us. I'm going to start off by sharing my screen and just say a little about BPM, just a reminder of who we are. All right. I hope you can see my screen. Please kindly let me know.
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you. All right, so BPM 2.0. I know that BPM has been on. Just to give a little background on BPM for those of us who might be new, and for those of us who already know about BPM for the older ones, but it's always good to give a bit of a history. The Business and Professional Ministry started many years ago, with the leadership of Mr. and Mrs. Yamo, a concept they brought about in empowering disciples in the workplace and business in their business places, and just helping disciples thrive in their trade, and also empowering disciples in various areas. And it was a very successful initiative of the church, but with time it went down like normally happens for several reasons. But it was very successful when it started off with a lot of trainings and supports and even funding being given. And so, but the leadership of the church saw a need to revitalize it. So the Business and Professional Ministry, now rebranded BPM 2.0, was reestablished in February 2023 by the ICOCN Board of Trustees, with a mandate to support the economic growth and empowerment of disciples across Nigeria. So we're given the goal to see, yes, we're doing a lot with our people spiritually, but also we know that economic empowerment is also very important, especially with the economic turn throughout the world. And so the leadership, just like we saw in the scripture, sets up the BPM to see how we can help in that regard so that they're not distracted from the ministry of prayer and the word. So the objective of the BPM 2.0 is to empower disciples with the knowledge, tools, and resources necessary to improve their financial literacy, increase their financial security, and achieve financial stability. And so, in setting it up to guide us in our objective, we had to come up with 5 core values, and our vision statement and our mission. And the vision of the BPM is to empower disciples with the knowledge and tools necessary to achieve financial freedom and stability. Now, all these might evolve as we go on. For now, this is our vision. And our mission is to provide disciples with financial education resources and support to improve their financial well-being, reduce financial stress, and achieve financial stability so they can in turn empower their community, including the church. Because there's always from us to us. All that we do in the church always comes from us. So the more empowered you are, the more we can give back to the church, to our community, and to one another. And so it is a very important ministry of the church, especially at this crucial time. We have 5 core values on which we operate, which is empowerment, which is part of what you see us doing, coming up with various uh, programs to empower our members, to empower disciples, which I'll also talk about. Education, which is a very big part of what we do, you know, training, having classes, sessions like we're doing now is a major part of what we do because we know that empowering the mind is the first place of empowering anyone. And so we also have inclusivity as one of our core values, basically trying to see how we can accommodate everyone from the old to the young, educated, not so educated, whatever field, whatever category we are. The goal is to be able to help and support every demography in the church in being financially empowered, economically empowered. Also collaborations, as you get to see, we can't do it alone. We're just a platform, a tool that the church is trying to use. And so we don't have it all. So we always have to collaborate with both disciples within and outside the church where necessary to achieve our purpose, and which you're already seeing, like in the SAMP program, where we have our brother, Dr. Eme, also helping us to coordinate that aspect. So a lot of collaborations, and also finally integrity, which is the bedrock that we want to be very professional in what we do and see what we mean and mean what we say, and to try to keep to our word as disciples. The leadership of the BPM, the central leadership team, is made up of myself, my sister Perita Kimeng as the vice chairperson. We have our brother Ayo as the financial empowerment program director, a very, very important role in our group also, because very core role. Also, our sister Rosemary Otalo, who's our communications director, ensuring that information goes out the way it should, and our branding and how you get to see us. And our new addition is our brother Bless Idobu, who is our corporate support. Helping us with all our admin stuff and IT needs, as you can know, all it's important to, it's a very important part of what we do. So this is the central leadership team trying to give our best to see how we can provide a platform for empowerment of disciples. We have 2 ex-officials, Brother Chris Obunaya, the former lead evangelist of Nigeria, and then also our brother Mr. Sam Onwa. We have 3 former ESCOs who I also like to mention here. Our brother Tyler, who has relocated to the UK, and our brother Temi Tokpe Olowoyo, who was been very engaged and so really could not be as involved as he used to be. And also our brother Ajofemi Omar Victor, who also has relocated and is married. So their education and work seems to demanding a lot of them. So they had at some point had to step down so that we can continue to function. But we truly appreciate their contribution, and they are always on the team. They're always ready to help, and we're grateful for all the amazing work they did when we started off. It was hard work, and so we're really grateful having them on board. Now we also have block chairman. BPN does not operate from the central alone. The work is done at the block level, and so we have 8 blocks in Nigeria, and so we have 8 block chairmen helping to coordinate the BPM at the block level, ensuring that the programs that are being turned out at that level meets the needs of disciples peculiar to the block. And so for the North Central block, we have our brother Mr. Moses Obisheson, who is the chairman of the block with his ESCO. For the Southwest block, we have our brother Adio Yolola, who is the block chairman. For our South block, our brother Lauren Femi Johnson is the chairman with his team and has his own team also. And then for the Southeast block is our brother James Orimafo. And they're doing quite excellent job at the block level. For Lagos block, Lagos is a big part of our church, and so it has 4 blocks on its own, just so to be able to meet the needs of disciples at various levels. So for the Lagos West block, we have our sister, Mrs. Oyewere, who is the chairperson. And for the Lagos North block, our brother, Mr. Intia Sukuma, is the block chairman. And then we have our brother, Mr. Bode Adefolu, who is the chairperson for the Lagos East block. And finally, our brother Michael Ejegri for the Lagos South block. These are men and women that support us and really put their hand to the plow and getting the job done at the block level, which is where the major work is done. And we're truly indebted to them. We appreciate the work they do. And please, we encourage you to continue to work with them. If you have any need at that level, please reach out to them, and I'm sure they'll be glad to help out. The structure, the BPM structure, basically, the central leadership group of the ICOCN provides strategic leadership for the BPM nationwide, providing guidance and support to the various BPM at the block and church level, just like the structure of the ICOCN of the church, where the national leadership group provides guidance and leadership for the various churches in Nigeria. And so the BPM at the block level or church level is virtually where the work is majorly done. They function semi-autonomously, where they are free to run and adapt the programs of their ministry, their various blocks, to the particular need of their church. But however, within the overall objective and guidance of the central leadership group. So they have a free hand to adapt the programs of the BPM to meet the needs of their block, of their churches. And I think that they're doing quite well and would hope to improve on it. For our programs, we have trainings, we have mentoring and mentorship program, we have coaching programs, we have business clinic, which is part of what we're doing today. The SAM program is a mentorship program, stroke coaching program being carried out, empowering disciples in basically training our mind, expanding our mind, and with tools that will help us to truly be able to do better economically and even in many other areas, and even spiritually. And so the business clinic is anchored in today's program, way of also bringing value to businesses and professionals, which will be unfolding shortly. And our programs are meant for both business owners, professionals, job seekers, retirees, and even students. Like we said, we try to be all inclusive, and so we try to meet as many people's needs as possible. We also have a counterpart credit scheme called the BCCS. So the counterpart credit scheme is meant to promote access to credit for economically active disciples to fund their business operations and expansion of qualifying nano enterprises in Nigeria. So the scheme currently has 2 million set apart for this purpose since 2023, with a plan to grow it to 50 million over the next 10 years with the support of everyone. Funding sources consist mainly of donations from the church, which we've got some support from the church already, and we hope to get more. Disciples across the block have been very, very helpful, supporting, giving free will donation, both within and outside of the church. Well wishers, friends, and friends of disciples. Now, the scheme is currently being managed through its identified partner, which is currently the Surujet, okay, the Surulere Cooperative Multi-Purpose Society Limited. An MOU was signed with Surujet in September of 2023. A more sustainable lending model is being achieved, by the BPM and the church, basically through the collaboration, through our collaboration with Surujet, based on a structure that has been tested and tried. Surujet has been around, I think, for over 15 years now, managing funds and giving loans and still growing every single day. So we're riding on that credibility, on that success story. I know BPM 2.1 tried giving loans to disciples, but it didn't really turn out well because that was not our strength. And so we're trying to focus on our area of strength here and allow those who have the strength in that regard to run it. And so if you're a member of Join the BPM, you need a business loan, there is a facility for that, which you can get details from the block rep or any of the ESCOs. As BPM expands its scope to accommodate other financial institutions, including external donors, agencies, the scheme will be revised, continue to grow and evolve. For more details on the scheme, like I said, you can contact your BPM block chairman and ESCO or any of the CLC, that's any of us at the central level. BPM is open to partnership. And so to collaborate or partner with BPM in any of our programs, whether it's training or mentorship or access to credit, please send your proposals to the Central Leadership Group, okay, BPM, through the church office, Otumba Jubifele, or through the email, icocbpm@gmail.com. You can equally reach out to any of our ESCO at the central or block level. And so that is just a brief about the BPM. At this point, I would like to call on our brother, Dr. Eme, to just say a little bit about our SAM program before we get into the program properly. And so, Dr. Eme, you have the floor. Just a little bit about our SAM program, book to read, and the plan for 2026. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. And my dear brother, you may want to stop sharing right now. Okay. All right. Good morning and welcome everyone to this morning's activity. It's definitely a wonderful time to always be, with us every time. Welcome to the SAM program. For those who are coming for the first time, it's been wonderful. You might be having about, you know what BPM is, but you don't know what SAMP means. It's the Success Achievement Mentorship Program. It's a 10-month mentorship program that we began early this year. We had over 300 people trained in the first inception. In fact, we had to have 2 trainings because of popular demand. And people that eventually scaled through were put into cohorts, and many miracles have been really shared. Each time we come together every Saturday like this, end of the month, we come to share what we call the knowledge sharing session. We've read several books over the past few months, including the Bible. We've had great quiet times. We have almost like a discipling time. We have little WhatsApp group that we've done. We began our first book with Who Moved My Cheese? And that book is a very popular book, very tiny but popular book. And the main concept of that book is for all of us to adopt external challenges. Challenges that come, we have to be able to adapt. If you run away from challenges or if you are stuck in your ways, you cannot emerge to where God wants to be. Of course, the primary question that we ask ourselves in that book is how do my reaction, or how do I react when my circumstances change? Do you react, or do you respond to your circumstances? And what if I am the one who is who will initiate the change? Many people today want changes, but we don't know that we can initiate the change. So we learn from the Ham and Her. Not read that book before, please go and read that book. So we enjoyed reading Who Moved My Cheese. Then a follow-up to Who Moved My Cheese. In fact, the guy who wrote it wrote this shortly before he died. He wrote, in fact, he died before he finished it. So his children helped him finish it. It's called Out of the Maze. And that is how we can overcome limitations in our life. So we began to attack limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are simply defined as the lies that we tell ourselves. They are not true, but those lies that we tell ourselves, and those are things that hold us back. So how do I change my thinking, especially when I'm in the maze? The maze is a life that we're looking at. It's a structure you have built yourself. It's a paradigm. So we challenge ourselves we have to walk out of the maze. We have to think outside the box for us to be able to see that there is better life, than what you can achieve out there. So what new world can I imagine? And what new outcome, can I create in the maze that I'm in right now? That was the essence of the second book, Out of the Maze. Then we now read another small book called Eat That Frog. Of course, if you are just joining us, we have agenda, reading plan every single day. We had group question time, group feedback time. We have meditation. We have gratitude. We have it's such a rich time we're having for the past few months. So we read the book I'm getting mixed up right now. Eat That Frog. That's what I'm thinking. And Eat That Frog calls us to prioritize important tasks in our life. Not just to do anything that comes, but prioritize important tasks. And the question we ask ourselves is that what is the most important thing that I must do today? Not what am I doing today? What's the most important thing I must do? That is my frog. Those are the things that you dance around, you go, clean your shoe, polish your day, but you're not doing it. That is what you need to do. And I see myself there many, many times. Maybe I need to finish writing a book, or I need to finish writing a syllabus, and I'm on my system. I'm doing everything. I'm answering mails. I'm doing whatever, but I'm not writing that book. But this book challenges us to just eat that frog. And the other question is, what is the one the one life purpose that defines all my today? Am I living for purpose for today? And that now led us to our first major big book that we read. Many of you enjoyed that big book. I didn't enjoy it. It's called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We learned those 7 habits. And those are principles of personal effectiveness. I mean, you can pick any one of them, like, begin with the end in mind, sharpen the sword, think win-win. I mean, they are so practical. And for some of you who don't know, for all of these chapters that we read, they are Bible passages. We actually pair them with Bible passages, with scriptural principles, so that as you are reading the Bible, you are saying that these things are principles that are already in the Bible. So how can I become highly effective person as a person? Now, even though I still struggle with my effectiveness, but people believe that I'm very effective, and I think I'm kind of effective also, but I want to be more effective. All right. So how can I become highly effective as a person? Then what is that higher calling in my effectiveness? What is it serving? In all I'm doing, what is serving? And just recently we read another tiny book, and this one is a parable. I don't know how many of you enjoyed reading Jonathan Livingston Seagull, or you did it in audio. Let me see your hand up, or just type something in the chat. Let me see. Did you enjoy or not reading Jonathan Livingston Seagull? Yes, I've seen that. It's such an incredible, I can't tell you how many times I've read it, even this period. I've read it over and again. It's so small. It's a parable, and everything that I say speaks to me. I really enjoyed it. Both the audio, the soft copy, book. So we've read that one. And I would like to inform us today that today we're going to start in our next book. In fact, our final book. Our final book, for this SAMP program for this year is Atomic Habits. In fact, we're supposed to have 2 books actually. But this council of our president said, rather than doing 1 book a month, let us do 1 book October and November, because this program will end in November. And those of you who have done well, which a lot of you have done well, you are going to get a certificate. So you're going to have a certificate with the BPM stamp on it. That is something you can show off on LinkedIn, something you can show off that you've actually gone through a 10-month mentorship program, that we are mentored every week for 10 months, every single week, for 10 months. Now, let me just finish up by just doing like a very short description of that book that we read. Now, what is the whole essence of reading that, Jonathan? Seagull. We are all seagulls in the life, and seagulls are said. In fact, one of the things that I discussed yesterday, I was sharing at a devotional this morning. The teachers got together and we're talking about conditioning. For some reason, that word conditioning just came in. That in life we are conditioned. We will be conditioned. We will be set to act in a particular way, to do better. So we are afraid to leave our conditioning. Maybe you are in a place where they say nobody should put on lights outside. You go to some neighborhoods, there is electricity, but everywhere is darkness. I'm like, who said they can't put on lights? That's what we do. We don't even know why. Everybody, the whole street is dark, but there's lights. People is conditioning, and you need to think that having a dark neighborhood is the best thing. So we all are seagulls. Seagulls, just hang around the shore looking for scraps from seamen or fish. That's what they do, fighting over fish. But this seagull said, why can't I fly higher? And anybody who wants to do something extra, you are going to be persecuted because you are going outside the box. And that reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. And that quote is by what's his name again? That quote, I will remember the guy's name. The guy said, those who embrace a new paradigm, something new, a new paradigm at an early stage, must often do it in defiance of the problem-solving community that are there. You say, it's not possible. You cannot fly. How can you? I mean, we are still trying to talk about this automobile. You want to talk about flying. You cannot go on the sea. You cannot travel. Community will try to stop you, and that is what happened with Jonathan Seagull. In fact, they might even disfellowship you, which is what happened to him really. They disfellowship him from whatever. Just about only for him to find out that there are other seagulls just like him. Other seagulls that are also thinking that there's more to life than just sitting around, fighting for scraps or whatever. They are flying. And he now found out that it's a bird that can actually fly. Of course, he went to heaven, and he saw heaven of seagull. And there he was now mentored, unless he was not discipled. They now began to teach him how to hone his skill. And after he has honed his skill, his job is now to come back and now to convince other seagull to be like him. Of course, people were like, go away, the old ranks. The old seagull, the old round, like, it's not possible, it can't be done. But there he found some young people, some young seagull who were willing to risk, who were willing to fly higher, who were willing to trim their wings, who were willing to do the extraordinary. And he was able to pass on that gift, to that young seagull. And I love the way the story ends. And as they were talking and watching, Jonathan said, the seagull just flew away and he disappeared. And I think his legacy was being able to pass down what you have learned. And I think that is what we are here also. We invited some incredible women and an incredible man that I know very well. I knew I was studying the Bible in my ministry. I knew when he got baptized, he's very intelligent, he's well-read. He was going to become a doctor, medical doctor. He went to medical school. He doesn't like sharing about it, but he actually finished. He went to medical school. He finished. He went to another course again. But I've seen him grow. I've watched these women that are going to come today. I've seen them from afar, from near, transcend different hurdles to become who they are in the private sector, in the public sector, as entrepreneurs, as workers. One of them sits on an industry where she alone control about 3,000 staff. 3,000 staff. That is what a membership of the church in Lagos. So I want us to pay attention, open up our mind. And if you are desirous, today we open it up to people who are not members of the sample program that we're doing. But now this program will be very exclusive. Okay, it's not open to everybody, but say, hey, let's just open to everybody in the church. They can come. But if you are desirous of joining the 2026 cohorts, a link is going to be posted very soon. Just copy that link and send a WhatsApp message to yourself. Okay, you can do that right now with WhatsApp. Just copy that. Don't start filling now so you don't get distracted. Just copy that link as soon as it goes up and send it as a WhatsApp to yourself, so that after this event, you will have decided if you really want to apply. So we are going to start taking applications for 2026 today. Yes, the link is already up. The form, just copy it. Don't start filling it. Copy it and send it to yourself. The link, we're going to start taking participant. Some of you don't know, it is rigorous. We're going to screen you. We're going to, many people will fall, by the way, because only people that want to achieve, only people who are dedicated will start and finish. And we're going to have a graduation ceremony in early in December, I believe. First week in December, we're going to have a graduation ceremony. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fantastic. And we're going to share great news of what God has done. And many of you, that have really done well, the cohort leaders, we're going to ask you to volunteer to now mentor the next cohorts that is coming. But before we conclude that, we are going to learn little habits that is going to help us, going to become atomic. And that is what the book Atomic Habits is all about. I think I've done my job at this time. I'm going to be handing the virtual lantern over to my dear brother and friend, Tunde Kuto.
All right, thank you so much, Doctor. Always a pleasure listening to you. It's been a lovely ride, crazy but lovely ride so far, and we're looking forward to the end for this year's SAMP program. Without wasting much time at this point, please, I encourage you, like Doctor said, copy the link and quickly register so that you don't miss out. Many people wanted to join this year, they delayed, and it was too late at some point. So please don't miss out on next year. We're trying to give room in advance. At this point, I'm going to be handing over to my sister, Perita Kimeng, who is handling the clinic session, as we have amazing facilitators to share their experience with us. Thank you so much. Let's have a beautiful time. Over to you, Perita.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Just give me a minute. I need to put up a slide. Sorry, I'm having to use two devices this morning. Usually technology sometimes don't cooperate with you, so it's one of those days. So I'm going to be sharing from one and I'm going to be using audio from another. So blessed if I can be given the co-hosting rights on 2. Perisha Kimeng 2. So I can share from there. Okay, all right.
All right.
2.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I can see.
So, Perita, is your video on?
No, I have a problem with one of my video. So my video is going to come on now. Just a few minutes, please.
No problem.
It's a very
Keeps going off. Okay, well, it appears I still have a bit of challenge, so I would I'll probably have to use the other one with the audio. So
Yes.
forgive me if you see me moving from place to place. I'll probably have to share
See you. Very
from
nice.
here.
We can see you.
Okay, all right. Okay. So just a minute. Let me I'll probably have to share from this other one as well at this rate. So my okay, I think I'll just continue. So, good morning, everyone, and thank you all for taking out time to join. I know it's a very, it has been a busy week for a lot of us, and to also take out Saturday very early to be on this call, we truly appreciate everyone for making that effort, and we all know that it's been a journey, so far on the sub program. And, just like Dr. Emma has also shared with us, the journey so far, it's been an interesting journey, with its ups and downs, but a lot of us are still hanging in there. And I believe that we'll all finish strong. Those of us who are really determined to make it to the end, we will finish strong. So today, as the chairman of the BPM has mentioned in his introduction, that today is we have a special session today in our knowledge sharing session. And so today we have some panelists who have excelled in one way or another. And it was a tough call, but then we, notice they have also availed themselves, because it's not easy to find speakers as well, because everybody seems to be busy, especially as we approach the last quarter of the year. And so I will be introducing our panelists, and in no particular order. I will be introducing um, the first panelist, who is Bumi Esther Adefolu. She is a seasoned corporate governance practitioner and human resource leader with over 30 years of experience in administration, risk management, service assurance, and business process management. Her diverse career includes role in public relations, international NGOs, supply chain management, HR consultancy, and outsourcing. She holds a degree in business administration from the University of Calabar, and is a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators, UK, as well as chartered member of CIPM, that's the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, Nigeria. Bumi has further enhanced her expertise through executive education at institutions like Lagos Business School and Poise Finishing School. In addition to her corporate achievements, Bumi has been an entrepreneur in the confectionery sector for over a decade, and is active in professional associations, including EPAN, which is the Employers Association of Private Employment Agencies of Nigeria, and the Institute of Charter Secretaries and Administrators, and Toastmasters International. Currently, she serves as the Managing Director and CEO of Tribes Corporate Support Limited, where she spearheads strategic HR and outsourcing initiatives that set new standards for excellence in workforce solutions. Her extensive experience in transitioning between corporate roles and entrepreneurship will greatly enrich today's discussion. Our next speaker is Tonu Karin Sholu and Anolefo, commonly known as Karen. I know we all know her as Karen, a dynamic businesswoman from the Shekiri community in Warri North, Delta State. Karen holds a bachelor's degree in marketing from Enugu State University of Science and Technology, showcasing her commitment to education and professional growth. Balancing her thriving career with family life, she is married and a proud mother of 3 children, aged 26, 24, and 18. Karen has successfully ventured into multiple business streams, including bag production, frozen food sales, property flipping and speculation, and interior decoration. Her diverse entrepreneurial endeavors reflect her adaptability and innovative spirit, making her a valuable voice in today's business landscape. We are excited to hear her insights and experience in the upcoming discussion. Our third panelist is Isaac Ogodo, and he's a dynamic brand and marketing communications professional with over 5 years of experience in driving business growth and engaging diverse audiences with a proven track record in developing integrated marketing strategies. He excels in brand storytelling, stakeholders engagement, content creation, and campaign management. He has led successful projects across various sectors, including social media, influencer, marketing, paid advertising, and event communications. Currently, he's exploring the role of AI in marketing, seeking innovative ways to enhance personalization and efficiency. Recognized for strategic thinking and creative problem solving, Isaac is passionate about empowering others to adopt modern communication tools and strategies, consistently delivering measurable results and long term brand value. His insights and expertise, we believe, that he has gained over the ever evolving world of technology will offer a valuable perspective to our discussion today. So, ladies and gentlemen, please let's give our panelists a warm welcome as we let's see those emojis as we clap them and welcome our panelists. So our panel discussion will take the form of questions, and then we'll give opportunities to our panelists to answer those questions. And as they introduce themselves, which is where they will start, they will introduce themselves. They'll let us know how their journey has been. And so they will tell us from a personal perspective and their professional journey how they got started, their key experiences that have shaped them, and what has led them to where they are today. So we will start with Mrs. Bumi Adefolu. And as she speaks, and the other panelists as well, I will enjoin everyone to please drop your questions. If you have any questions that you haven't heard their profile, I'm sure there's some questions that already are forming in our hearts or in our minds that we would like to ask. So this is an opportunity to ask our panelists. And so we'd like for you to drop your questions in the chat box, and then at the Q&A, after the first set of questions, in their answering their personal thoughts and their experiences, we will be taking your questions from the chat box. So please drop your questions as we go along. So Mrs. Bumi Adefolu, I think we'd like to spotlight her as she shares with us her personal and professional journey and how she got to where she is today. So Mrs. Adefolu, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very, very much. Thank you for the opportunity and the privilege that I have to be here. It's such an honor, and I'm grateful to be here. I know my husband is a member of the BPM, and I've seen them do so many things that was said this morning in terms of reading. My son, actually, and I wonder what was I waiting for that I've not joined even till now. But I'm happy that there's an opportunity for me to join again. And so today is all about my career journey, which is full of resilience, full of innovation, I would say leadership, as well as reinvention. And I want to believe that, today, by the time I share my part, it will give more clarity to some people, and there will be such a courage, and convictions, for people to go ahead. So I will start like this. I started with a very low education background. I was not so lucky like some other people have, but I refused to be, intimidated by that. So what I did was while I was working, I make sure that I did all my schooling. Before immediately I got married, I started going to school. And so I'm proud today to say, I mean, when even for me, I was intimidated when my profile was being read because, God has helped me this far. So I'm a proud BSc holder, I'm a charter secretary, and all that was said. But to also say, and to this, to God's glory, because God really helped me. But another side of me that you need to know is the fact that, you know, I was an introvert. I hardly talk. You see, I find it very difficult, to speak up most time. But that is one thing I have to learn, because I realize that, communication is key in giving my team, whoever I'm going to work with, helping them to understand my vision and the mission and the way we're going to go, the direction we're going. So that's one of the things that I have to do, especially as a professional and a businesswoman. But one thing that I would say really that, that drove me was the fact that I have fear of God. Thank God for discipleship in my life. That helped me a great deal. And so it makes me to be diligent at work. It also helped me to give my best at whatever I'm doing. So I started off as a secretary, and thereon I moved to be an administrator and as well, human resource manager. At a point in time, I became a consultant. I work in so many places in the north, Abuja, Kaduna, and so many other places. And from there, when I got a job with FedEx, Resta FedEx, so I was also working as a personal assistant to the group managing director. Then I moved to HR, and from HR, I was moved to quality assurance. And from here, that was where I got the job to become a managing director at Tribest. Tribest is an human resource organization where I see end to end of the business. As well, it will also interest you to know that I'm also an entrepreneur because I have a business that I started in 2014. Yeah, 2014, 11 years ago. I also, at this time, I facilitate, I do training, I counsel, I also mentor people, especially people around me. I figure whatever the issue is, and I try to, you know, support them as well. But to think about it, this never come this easy. It's easier to say than done. It never, it never come this easy for me. I have suffered in life. When I say suffer, yes, I have struggled, many times I had to go through different situations. I've been sidetracked, I've been ignored, I've suffered so many loss. I've failed at any point, some point in time. So I'm going to just give two practical examples so that you'll be able to relate with me. When I got, when I, lost my job in Opodwide, I'm sure some of us will have ideas to what happened in Opodwide, Nigeria. It was an abrupt stopping that all of us had to go home. And it became very difficult for us to survive. Not because my husband was not working, but because life just became tough. And we just had to survive. And I was looking at, so what can I do really? So I mean, I thought about it. I couldn't figure it out. I have some money from pension. That is the only money that it met with us. And so until one day I thought about it, we went out and I realized that yes, I can make cake. I love cooking. So we went to Dominion on Lekki and I saw cake, pizza, and ice cream. That was where the idea that followed how I started the business. And again, another example I would say, before I became the MD of Tribest, while I was working in Resta, I was the head of human resource for one of the subsidiaries. And I started well with my boss and all that, but suddenly the environment became toxic. My boss doesn't want to hear me. It sidetracked me in so many things. I was practically made redundant. And I saw out of jealousy. Why, where he's coming from? I know I have a center HR as well. I almost threw in the towel because I felt like if this is going to be this difficult, I can as well go. But one thing I appreciated in my husband, he said you have to be dogged, you have to, be head, put your head to it. And so that also helped me. And another thing, was the fact that throughout all that, thank God for discipleship. Thank God for God in our lives. I never become really rebellious. I was giving my best despite everything I was doing. I've heard side comments in the office, madam, you are trying, no? In fact, if it's me, I can't do it. But because, God is in the picture, so I did my best. Even when I was moved unjustly to quality assurance, you know, not knowing that they were using it to build me. I did policies, I did so many things because I have the knowledge base. Yet I look like somebody that did not know know how to do anything. So with that, I was just giving my best to it. But guess what? God vindicated me. God came for me. I was haunted that, for a job of an MD. Of course, the fear came in, crept in that, Bubi, are you sure you can do this? Or an MD, especially in the place where you are coming, that you look like you don't even know anything. But that was how God did it. So presently, I manage over 5,000 workforce. Within 6 months of my probation, I have added single-handedly, God helped me. I added 6 new clients. And the FMCG, because my office, they were very strong in banks. We have over 4,000 staff in banks. So, but now we have FMCG. Now, manufacturing is on the way, and we have a lot of one-off recruitment. So, from 3,000 within that 6 months, from 3,005 thereabouts, now we're almost 5,000, if not above 5,000. So we're on a growth trajectory and we're just starting, to the glory of God. But aside that, I still have my side business. So I work round the clock. I have 3 outlets. I have a bakery because I have bread. I have 2 sales outlets and I have 9 staff that are handling different roles. So our sales is growing, our revenue is growing, and I'm fulfilled, to the glory of God. God has been the one who had made it happen. So let me stop here. Thank you.
Peter, you are muted. We can't hear you.
Yes, so I'm I'm unmuted now. I want to juggle between 2 devices. Wow, what a journey, Mr. Defulu, what a journey. Indeed, God has vindicated you through it all, through all the challenges, through all the struggles. And
That's right.
I will call up our next speaker. So let me see. I think I don't know if you can see. Okay, no, that's that's me sharing the same screen. Let's see. I was going to share the. Oh, well. Okay. So I'm going to call on our next panelist, and she also will take us through her journey and what she's been doing in the past years and her key experiences and things that have shaped her to become the person that she is today. So please help me welcome Mrs. Anolifo, Karen Anolifo. So Karen, you have the floor.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
All right. Can we spotlight her, please? Okay, there we go. There we go. Good morning, Karen.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to be here. I feel privileged, actually, to be called this morning to share my journey and my story. I'm going to save a little time by just leaving out introducing myself because I have been introduced. Thank you for that, Perita, for introducing me earlier. Okay, where did I start from? I would say that when it comes to business, you know how people say that, oh, it looked like they were born into something. Even as a child, I already had, will I say, business intuitions, because I remember very well, even in primary school when I was still very young, at some point, I thought of doing different things. I remember the one I remember very well is making coconut candies, and selling to my mates. It was very interesting. During holidays, I would make coconut candies. I thought of making cookies, different things, to be able to earn money. And one of the motivating forces, that drove me into business that really helped me even up to now is I can be restless. I'm a very restless person, when it comes to doing things with my hands. I hated being idle. I wanted to do something at any point in time. And also because I love to be, financially independent. And that also came from not wanting to ask people for things or ask people for money. Even my parents at that time, I struggled, to ask my parents for money. I just wanted to have my own money. I could say that I liked money, from a young age, and of course, the only option that was left for me was to work, do things with my hands, that I would say is a blessing from God and earn my own money. And then growing up, especially at university stage, when I was in the university, the hunger and the thirst, to be financially independent grew even like wilder. You know how, you're away from home completely, you're all by yourself, you need to take care of your bills and all that. And sometimes the money is, handed to you by your parents or your siblings just couldn't really cut it, especially for me, how I wanted to live in school. I wanted to live off campus, have my own little room where I could have everything, my fridge, so that I could cook for myself and all that. So all that, fueled me doing business. And I started, completely, like totally when I was in university. When I was giving money, I used my school fees, my allowance, everything, every single money I had when I had to go to school. I went to the market and buy just different items, that I knew that students needed and loved. Things like, beautiful fancy key holders, fridge memo holders that you can stick on fridges, just different things. Those are the two I could remember very well. But there's so many different things that I sold while I was in university. And I remember very well, 2 weeks into resumption, sometimes I was done selling everything and I would have doubled my school fees, my allowance, and everything. So I had money to spend, and I felt that really made me feel independent and made me feel fulfilled, because I wasn't really like asking people to give me money. I was a rich student, let me put it that way. And that's how I really wanted it to be. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I love to do things with my hands, and I started with just buying and selling. And then when I came out of school, during my youth service, I served with the then Afribank in Victoria Island. And I lived not too close from my place of work. I was at the head office, I think Afribank Street at that time in VI. And I studied marketing, so it wasn't so easy. It wasn't so difficult for me to be able to conceive a need, in an environment. And I would say that that has also helped me today, even as a disciple, as a mom, and as a wife, just being able to spot needs, and get in there as a problem solver. So looking around, I would see a lot of women carrying nylon bags, to work. And they use those nylon bags to carry some of their essentials, like their slippers or their work shoes, their food, their water, just different things that, women would carry, even their makeup. And to me, it was so distasteful to see that women, after dressing corporately and looking so beautiful and, having nylon bags, polythene bags, and it just immediately struck me that I could do something about that. This is a need right here, and then that made me to begin, to make shopping bags, just I remember this first material I started using was like a wallpaper material. I would go to Mushi, buy the materials. I had to source out a tailor, that I could sell the idea to so that we could work together and all that. And that was what springboarded my bag production business. I started really small, even as a youth copper. I would go buy materials, give it to the tailor, explain, and I was doing my cutting and all that. So that's how it all began with the bag making. And I mean, up until today, counting almost 30 years, I think 29 years, this year that I started bag making. And we've grown so much, making different kinds of bags. Something that started as just carrier bag. And I remember I used my break period at that time to go sell to colleagues. I would go to other branches. I would go to other offices in Afri Branch Street, just around me to market my business. And of course, the bag business grew. And at that time, it was so much more like, like a money spinner. I remember when I got married and, that was when I really expanded, got machines, tailors, and all that. And I went, on a bigger level with the bag making. And I made a lot of money from bag making, production and all that. And it got to a point, I had some money, in investments. And I was thinking, how do I put this money to use? Initially, I used to put my money, it was just sitting in the bank. And I remember at that time, I used to get, for a certain sum of money I had in the bank, I used to get, they used to give me interest of about almost 30,000 naira. And then I was excited at that time that, okay, at least I was using that to pay my, my household worker, who was working at home, as a choice person, and then at some point my eyes opened to investments, and I was so angry with myself. Like, I mean, how come all these years I would have millions of naira sitting in my account and just getting peanuts, as interest? And then I think it was my late brother and my younger sister who were in Abuja at that time opened my eyes to investments. And I remember I did my first investment so many years ago with 6 million naira. And the money was growing because I usually would just, keep adding to it and all that. And then in 2020, when during the COVID period, that was when the business of the frozen food was giving birth to, because I had the space and business was grounded during the COVID period because, I mean, there were no parties, no conferences, no activities. That was what gave birth to Zoom. And so because there were no physical parties and people were not really moving around too much. And so, the business of bag making was grounded, like it went to ground zero. And so I had to think quickly, what can I do, with all the funds that I had, and then the bag making wasn't working at that point in time. So I had to begin the frozen food business. I went and I bought freezers, created the space and all that, and then went and understudied somebody who was big in the business, and then I came and started it. It wasn't looking too good at the initial stage. It needed a lot of my physical, presence and energy and all that, but we were able to just scale through, and till date, we're still, doing that business, though I've had to drop some products, here and there, and increase some. I was selling ice block. So I want to value, no matter how small the money is, no matter how big, we have value for every kind of income, let me put it that way. So I have, that. And then at some point as well, I think about 3 years, almost 4 years ago too, I also still had a lot of funds, sitting around. And my sister and I decided, having someone spoke to us, about it. And then we decided to venture into the property business. At that time, the Sticks and Stones company in Abuja, they were just going to sites. And then we just jumped in there and did an investment. And we had the opportunity of 2 whole years, to pay for a property that was going for 43 million at that time. So my sister and I put resources together. I broke all my investments, I put all the money together, and we're able to buy, buy into a property. It wasn't so easy. I remember I had to take loan and then to add to what I had. And we're able to complete that payment, within 2 years. And a property that we bought for 43 million, after 2.5 years, we're able to sell it for 120 million. And my eyes opened to that. And that was, how me going into property flipping also was giving birth to. And I'm really enjoying that. I know that we sold that and started another one almost immediately because we were afraid that the funds were just going to frizzle out and all that. So we started. That was how the property flipping and speculation business also was giving birth to. I also do interior decoration. And I know that just a few months ago in June, July, I had to travel all the way to Owerri to do up a house, interior decoration. And that was a very, very interesting one. So in all these businesses, some are, they come once in a while. The property thing is like, oh, once in every, because I don't have so much money to invest. So it's one house at a time. And all that is growing. Okay, so I remember my sister Bumi said that she has suffered. I have seen Shaggy, when it comes to business. And one of the things that has helped me, I would say that helps me to be resilient, and to stay, to diversify and all that, is that I wanted more. I would say that I wanted more, and that was how I started, investing in different other things. Okay, and then one of the policies that I also had that helps, is because I made my businesses in such a way that I get paid before I do anything, before I render my service or I do any production. For instance, if someone wants to give me a job of 1.2 million, the person would have to pay at least 80% of that. So that's how I don't need so much money to run on a daily basis. But then again, every business would definitely need some capital. So at every point in time, I also want to have capital. I've talked about how I started the food business. Okay, again, some business for me, some of my business are seasonal. Like when the weather is cold, nobody really wants to buy the ice block, so we chill on that a little bit and then, continue when the weather changes. Even with the bag production, sometimes there's, towards the end of the year, and then during holidays, at different times of the year, the bag business booms better than at other times of the year as well.
All right, Mrs. Anolifo.
I'll just sorry. Yeah. I'll just round off by.
Sure. Yeah, you've given us the whole 9 yard of your business.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
You very much. I just wanted to quickly mention that discipline, consistency, and persistence, and the never say die spirits, is one thing that we all need, to be able to remain and exist in business.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing so passionately. I mean, you've given us so many nuggets on how to in business and how you can transition from one to another, and just the diversification in your business and how things began to evolve for you and created opportunities as well, and how you took, charge of those moments and took, hold of those opportunities as well as they came. So thank you so much for sharing those very insightful nuggets. So quickly, we will move to our third panelist. So please help me welcome Mr. Isaac Obodo. Isaac, you have the floor. So let's hear from you how your entire journey started and what took you to where you are today. So please share with us.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Isaac. Good morning.
Good morning. So, yeah, my name is Isaac, and I am a brand and marketing communications specialist. So, my move into brand and marketing communications wasn't planned. I would say that I studied physiology in the College of Medicine in Iran. I also have another degree in biomedical engineering, which is in total, in total, far cry from what I am currently doing now as a brand marketing communication person. And how did I get into it? So I would say, after my first degree, I was just looking for something to do at the moment, and I kind of dabbled into social media marketing majorly and just learned the basics. And it was just really for fun. I did not intend to create a career out of it, but I was still very much aligned to the health sector as I studied. And as I did my second degree when I was trying to get my PhD in biomedical engineering, we had that very long strike that happened in 2020. And so that whole period, I I mean everybody was at home, right? So I now decided to go fully into marketing, and I would say the journey so far has been very, very productive. I've been able to do certain things in certain hats, right? I've worked as a freelancer where I freelance for either personal brands or companies and all that. I've worked in an agency. I've worked in a business development agency. I currently run my own agency at the moment. So I have also worked in or worked with clients from different niches, right? Both very small businesses and at the same time bigger businesses, right? So technically, this is how I got into the space as a brand and marketing communication specialist. Now, beyond even that, I also do have one or two small businesses that I run by the side and uh, sell t-shirts, do branded shirts, do branded merch generally, and I would say one of the key things that has stood out for me in my own short career, as I would say, is that innovation to me is very important. It's very key that you look at what is happening in the market, look at what looks like the future, and find a way to bridge yourself, right? Because of course you don't want to run faster than the market where everyone is still focused on one thing and then you've gone on to the next. While it's not a bad thing in itself, it means that your target audience or people who you are working with might not really understand what's happening, and they might not be able to pay you because you have gone faster than yourself. And at the same time, you don't want to stick too much to what you know or what is currently happening, so that by the time the new wave comes in, you are not left stranded, right? So one of the key things that really stood out for me is innovation. I won't call myself an AI expert, but I am very, very knowledgeable with AI. I'm also involved with several AI trainings. I think earlier this year, my team and I did some AI training for the Korean regions, a 3 month AI training for the teenagers. And we have plans to replicate that across, different regions. Why? Because we believe that since AI is the future, it's very key that we get the kids, up to speed with AI, right? And um, I personally think that AI is something everyone should implement at different levels. You don't necessarily need to be an expert. Just implement it at different levels in your business, in your either your operations or the creative side and all that. My agency, Growth Hub Communications, is an AI-powered marketing agency. So we are a marketing agency, but we don't shy from using AI. We use AI We love to create content with AI. We love to, when I mean create content, I'm talking about video, um, written content, because everything we love to use AI makes our work much faster, makes our work much efficient, and we also use it in studying the trends, seeing what works with our target audience, seeing what we can improve, and that has really, really helped us, um, you know, bring a lot of results for our clients. So, like I said, we have to be that bridge, right? We are not going to go ahead and do everything AI, right? Where our clients don't understand what's happening. And at the same time, we are not going to just strictly focus on what used to be. So we have to be the bridge where we are letting them know that, okay, this is what we do, but we still do what you know, what you are aware of, and you can gradually come over to our side so that you see what is possible with AI, and then we can now move together to the future, right? So I find fulfillment in helping brands get clarity to grow, and also empowering how they position themselves with their target audience. And it's very critical. Like for me, I really love the brand building process. And I always try to tell people having a successful business is because I'm having a successful brand. If I have a successful business, I'm not a successful brand. Why? Because the lifeblood of every business is sales. Once you make sales, you are in a business, right? So if you are selling pop on the road, that's your business. If you're selling slippers on the road, that's your business. Now, you don't necessarily have a brand per se, right? People will not separate you from the other person selling pop or the other person selling slippers on the road, except if you now deliberately create a brand. But you can have a successful business where you are making sales, you are doing, whatever you do, and you're good to go, right? So I specifically love creating brands, especially for, ambitious brands that say, okay, we are doing well in this regard, but now we want to position ourselves in a different light. We want to be able to get results without having to try as much, right? And that's always the key part about building a successful brand. Let's say, for example, you carry 40 million and you put it into your business and you make 100 million back. That's good, right? But the purpose of having a strong brand is that over time, that 40 million you are putting in drops down to 20 million and you're still making the same 100 million. Why? Because you don't need to convince people about you like you would initially, because they already know you, they already trust you, right? And they would always want to come back and do business with you. So, like I said, I really love creating brands out of businesses. I really love creating brands from scratch. I also really love rebranding already existing businesses so that they can get to where they want to get to. And for even personal brands, I really love the process of helping them find clarity. That this is what I want to do. This is what I like to do. This is the kind of people I want to reach. And then we say, okay, give us all those information. Let us now use that to create something that helps you reach out to your target audience, talk to them the right way, um, engage with them, and eventually still drive you the same business results that you are looking for. Because, like I said, the lifeblood of every business is um, sales. So, yes, that is me in a nutshell, and thank you for having me.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Isaac. I mean, it's this, your entire journey. Yes, maybe short for some people, but like we always say in the IT space, you know, 1 year feels like 10 years because there's so much happening and things happen and change very fast. Thank you so much for taking us through your journey and for all that you do. Thank you for all the innovation and just also, passing on, to the younger generation. Thank you so much for sharing. I'll go back to Mrs. Adifulu. I know she has she still operates in the entrepreneurial space. And I know a lot of people, on this call would also like to hear from you. And I know that, yes, you've shared, some of your challenges, but then specifically, you experience over a decade in the confectionery space. what were the unique what are, and I'm sure those challenges are still there. Maybe some has been, solved, but then what are the unique challenges you have faced in business ownership? You're owning that business, and then how did your corporate experience help you overcome them? Because obviously you were doing it and then you went back into the corporate space again. So you're still there, but then you're also running it. So how has that helped you, you know, in your business? So like a very short answer to that question so that we can give opportunity to other people as well to ask questions.
Okay,
Very
thank
brief.
you very much, my sister Verita. Yeah, for the business, I mean, the confectionery business, I think the beginning of the business was finance. How do we raise money? It was a major issue. We have the idea now, but where do we get the money from? And eventually we went into loan. So the major problem we also eventually had was the fact that we need to pay back loan. And because we were novice in this area, we had a loan that had no moratorium for a new start, a new business that just started, and that was a bad one for us. And as well, another problem was, even till now, is staff attrition, the rate at which you get people and these people leave. Good enough, when I started the business, I actually went because I have the knowledge from secondary school. So I went to train at a particular place in GRA, Ugudu GRA. So I know very well all my honors of my job. So sometimes when I get a bit average staff, quickly train them. But after training them, then they use the knowledge that I've given them, they go to another place to work. So that was another challenge. And also another challenge was record keeping, for me to be able to have records of what I've given and what I'm getting back, and material wastages. I've had staff that they try something, maybe they did the cake, it was not coming out well, they pour it away, they get another material, or they were using my material to do business because after all, I was not there. So these were some of the problems that I had, and I'm still having, but I'm overcoming. Now, how do I use my corporate experience to now change things? Okay, one of the things, like I said about loan, I'm learning to save. I'm learning. So for anybody coming into business, you must be able to maybe do some work. I've heard people say, I want to quickly work so that I can earn some money to do some other business or get family and friends to raise money. That's one of the things. You must be able to have business to start up, no matter how small. Now, for staff issue, with my HR knowledge, I've learned to give contract of employment for people. And in that contract of employment, it details what you are to do. So I put it in a granular like level of what I do every day and what I must deliver at the end of that day. So this has helped people who are lazy, who probably come to work, they don't have ideas, or they become nonchalant to work and all that. At least it control behaviors, and there must be an SOP. Okay, this is way the standard operating procedure of our work. Then there are policies of, how things are being done here. You don't open your hair. You have to, you know, make sure you have a clean environment. You can't have, so those things, those culture are built into the business of my confectionery. And we keep, coming back, new things, new ideas. Now, record keeping is another thing. One thing that, I'm overcoming is also to ensure that records are being kept. Of course, now there are software. I'm going to also engage Ade, brother Isaac, because I've heard some things and I know I've longed to work with you, so it's a good one. But now, inventory is another thing for me to be able to have stock in and stock out, how to replenish. So that is another system I brought to there. And also, loss of material So making sure that we issue out products, we don't put it in the front. We make sure we give you this quantity. When you finish on use basis, you retire. So of course, for somebody like me that is not at work and that is not present, CCTV would have been, yeah, I'm planning to do that. I've not done that, but just an input, CCTV to also be able to watch what is going on while I'm away. And finally, to say, we make sure that I use a family support system where my husband, on a daily basis, we check daily records, vis-a-vis production and sales. We make sure that we check that. Those are things that we put in place so that our eyes are also on them. Sometimes I'm coming back from work, I go there, I don't come home. Sometimes I don't sleep early anyway. So, but God has been the strength just to make sure that I'm on top of it. And the business is doing really well. So thank you.
All right, thank you so much for sharing. I mean, just walking us through, all the challenges and the things that you're putting in place to overcome those challenges. And indeed, we have someone on this call as well. Like you said, you would need to talk to Isaac. Definitely, there'll be solution for that now because now we have AI. There's so many things that AI is enabling us to do and so many things that before was an uphill task, but with AI, you can do it within the shortest possible time and and very efficiently too. So yes, definitely Isaac is a person to talk to. And so while we're on that, I would like to come back to Isaac before I go to Mr. Anolifo. So Isaac, I think while we're still on the small and medium scale, I know that there's some businesses that have challenges and it's often bordering on budget costs. And so, what are the most crucial initial steps to building strong and memorable brand identity that resonates with their target audience? Because definitely with small and medium scale, theirs is just let's push the thing out, let's push it out. And in doing that, sometimes there are losses. Sometimes they don't. The focus is away from how am I doing out there? How well do people know me out there? So in terms of their brand, in terms of their marketing, sometimes that suffers as well because they're focused on wanting to get the supplies out there. So what advice would you have for such businesses? Isaac, that's for you. Isaac.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you now.
Okay. Thank you so much for that question. Like you said, yes, building a stronger identity at the same time trying to maximize costs is a very, very key problem that a lot of people have. And I would say to be able to do that, first thing you have to do is you have to be 100% sure of what you want to achieve. That's what you are doing, why you are doing it, and who you are doing it for. Because this is very, very important. What you are doing, okay, I make bread, I make shoes, I make shirts. Why are you doing this? Oh, because um, I see this particular need in the market. People don't have access to this very good product, and I think my product can match it. Okay, so who exactly are you selling to? I'm selling to everyday people around my side, or I'm selling to high-end audience. I'm selling to people who are HNIs. So all these things are very, very critical. Who you communicate to, who you want to talk to, who you want to sell to rather, what you are selling to them and why you are selling it is the most important aspect. So you need to understand your purpose and then your audience so that you are very much aware of what you are doing. And I think the next thing is you need to have simple, consistent vision. It doesn't need to be extensive. It doesn't need to be elaborate. It can be just one color or two colors that align with what you are doing. It can be a simple logo. Look at it like MTN, Glow, and all that. right? When you see a telecoms company coming around and they wear a yellow shirt, you really think MTN, right? Because they've assigned that color or aligned that color with themselves. You see green, you really think blue. You see red, you may think Airtel. So these are different ways in which you can also um, put um, a marker in your target audience's mind. Okay, this particular brand, this is their color. They utilize blue a lot more. They utilize red a lot more. And I would suggest that these colors should be colors that mean something to you. Now, of course, as a brand strategist, we understand color theory. We also understand that okay, there are certain colors that elicit certain results from your brand. When you think of red, you're thinking of um, maybe love, activity, action. When you think of orange, you're thinking of excitement, energy, right? When you think of brown, it's something really more calm, down to earth, earthy. You think of green, you're thinking about something like healthy. So there are different colors that align with different things. Now, if you're not a marketer or a strategist, that's fine. Just pick a color that works well with you. The aim is that by the time you start engaging your customers two, three, four times and they see that same color two, three, four times, they begin to associate that particular color with you. Of course, when you have the money to now probably do a proper rebranding, that's different. But at the basic stage, just have a color that people can associate with your brand. It could be also have maybe a simple logo. There are different tools that can generate simple logos for you. Canva, you can even use different AI tools. Just generate a simple logo. It doesn't need to be anything much. You can even just be maybe initials of the name or whatever. Point is just have something that people can easily know that okay, this is this brand. I know these guys because once I see this particular set of words, I see this icon, I see this color, I know that it's you. Another thing is you have to utilize digital. If you don't have much money, digital is the best place for you. Why digital? Because the barrier of entry is really low, right? If you say you want to go into the proper media space, you have to pay a lot of money to appear on media, TV, radio, and all that. But with digital, you can easily just open an Instagram account on your phone and you get the job done. So utilizing digital is very, very critical. Um, you also have to, I will always advise, don't spread yourself out thin. Don't try and go to four social media accounts and try and be on TikTok, Instagram, busy. Focus on one or max two, right? So that you have enough time to still do other business operations that you have, right? That's one. Two, you have the chance to give your all to that one platform and get the best result out of it. So if you're doing 2 hours on Instagram, it's better than doing 30 minutes on Instagram, 30 minutes on TikTok. You spread yourself out thin and you will not get anything done. So focus on one platform that okay, this is a platform I want to use to reach out to my target audience. How do I want to communicate? What do I want to do? I'm not going to shoot videos, I'm not going to create graphics, all of that, you know, have that plan and then go ahead with it. Another thing is storytelling, right? People love stories. People love people that love telling stories. So building a bone for storytelling helps. And what do I mean? I mean, you talk about your business, right? So, hey, my name is Isaac. I do this. My name is Isaac. I do this. I do that. This is why we are doing this. This is why you should work with us. So when people see you, they're able to connect with you because that we're human beings, right? Even though AI is very key now and everybody is jumping into AI, people still want to talk to human beings. People still want to engage with human beings because we understand each other as human beings, right? So develop a bold to tell stories. Come out there, tell people why you are doing it. And that's why understanding why you are doing what you're doing is very important. So by the time you understand why you are doing what you're doing and you understand who you're communicating to, storytelling becomes much easier. For example, if you're going to talk to 40-year-olds, means that you need to understand the problems 40-year-olds are facing, and you also need to know how to communicate to 40-year-olds. You're going to talk to 20-year-olds. You're not going to talk to 20-year-olds like you talk to 40-year-olds because the experiences they've had in life, the problems that they currently have, the way they love to be communicated to, the kind of things that, because Nigerians are very, very big on respect. So the kind of the kind of pointers that will say, oh, this person is respectful to me. It's different from the kind of pointers a 20-year-old will look at when they say this person is respectful to me. You get that. So you also have to know who your audience is, who you are communicating to. And then one very, very, very important aspect that you must consider is um, your customer service. I believe that that is very, very important. In fact, that defines your brand even more than anything else. No matter the stories you tell, no matter the colors you use, no matter no matter how much you understand your target audience, if your customer service is terrible, people will not want to come back because they are thinking, oh wow, I like this product, it's really nice, but I didn't like engaging with this company. I ordered for something, it took me 2 weeks before I could get what I ordered for. I don't think I want to do this anymore. Right? Or I complained about this particular thing and they just blocked me and they just cut my call. I told me that's my business. So even though they like the product, they like the stories and all that, they will not want to come back because customer service is like the highest, 80% of everything. So yes, I would say once again, understand your clarity and have more clarity on what you're trying to do. Why are you doing it? What do you want to do? And who are you selling to? Right? Utilize digital is very, very critical. It's like a low hanging fruit. Prioritize your visuals, have a consistent color so that people can see you and know, okay, this is you every time they come across, right? Engage in storytelling, especially if you are the founder. Talk about your business, why you do your business, why they should work with you, and most importantly, now ensure that you deliver. And like I always tell people, what we do is client service, right? And what you actually do as a business person is customer service. Irrespective of whatever you're selling, whether you're selling slippers, you're selling plates, you're selling cap, what you are doing is customer service. You are serving your customer. You get that? So everything you are doing has to align with ensuring that the experience that they had while working with you, whether it is from the social media to the time they reach out to you via DM, time they call, time they get their product is wonderful. Once they enjoy that whole experience, they will always want to come back. Yeah, so that's what I think. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for taking us through the why, the how, the what, of the business, and also the glue that holds them all together, customer service. Because indeed, if you have all of those things going for you and your customer service isn't where it's supposed to be, you will lose cost. I mean, you will definitely lose your customers. And so, thank you for taking us through that. And I'm sure our audience, have gotten a lot of insights from that, from the brand specialist himself. So I will quickly go to Karen at this juncture. I would like to ask her, this is a question that I believe that a lot of entrepreneurs will probably be asking as well, because some have already asked this question. So when you were sharing your story, you talked about how COVID came and the bag production wasn't doing as well because of course people were grounded. The carrying of bags of course were limited because everyone was at home, and so the sales went down. And then here you were, you had so much money. So the question is, when businesses get to that stage, or when businesses do make funds or make money, what would your advice be to such business owners on how to manage their funds? Because we also hear of situations where, especially with small and medium scale businesses, where funds are not separated, business funds from personal funds, because sometimes the line is so thin and they think they can dip their hand into the pocket or into the purse and, oh, I like this gele that is just raining, I want to buy. Oh, that lace that just came, I love it, I want to buy. And so before you know it, you start dipping your hand into that purse and then you're running low on funds. So what would your advice be to business owners who happen to have that? Because sometimes there's some times when your business really do
Okay,
well.
let me switch off the ceiling fan.
So what would your advice be to such business owners or entrepreneurs?
Okay, thank you very much. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm just going to share from my experience. I like to share what I have done and that has produced results that are positive. Because sometimes you can get engaged in investments and it brings negative reinforcement to your business. So for me, when during COVID, things became as it was, it wasn't just so much that people were staying at home and so they didn't need to carry bags because there were no more events at this time. I mean, weddings, because one of the most one of our big customers, is, people when they want to have wedding ceremonies, funeral ceremonies, church and, business conferences and all that. All that was not really happening. There was so much about, the Zoom at that time and so many other, is it hybrid? I don't know how to put it, but there wasn't so much of the physical partying and meetings, that would make people order our bags. Before that time, I had been thinking because I had, a storage just by the factory, a storage. That storage was where we used to use as the factory. So when we moved to the bigger place, that storage was still there. I was using it for finished products, storage. And so I thought about it. I'm like, this place is wasting. I had begun to think of something to do there. And it was a frozen business thing that came to mind. I also wanted to do some food business. It's just the stress of it that made me strike that out. Like food packaging. I wanted to put some very rare kind of meals and package them, freeze them. People can just order, and all that. But I thought of all the stress that would be involved in that. And the frozen food one was the one that, sat with me at that point in time. So because I already had the idea, I swung into action almost immediately because during the COVID time, like I said, no orders at all. Like we were not selling at all. In fact, one of my siblings was sending me palliative every month. He would send me money. It was that bad, So when you are at that stage where, okay, you have funds from, a business you're doing, one of the things you can think about is, okay, I'm selling bread. You can think of some other complementary products that you want to introduce. Maybe you start selling margarine. If someone wants to eat bread, they'll probably want to use margarine. They want to use sardine. They want to use eggs. They want to, have a cup of tea with it. So you can think of a complementary product. That's one. You can also think of, the space you have. Maybe you have a store or you have an office. In that store that you're using, maybe Mrs. Adefolu, who is into pastries, she has a place where she sells pastries. She can think of other things, that store, that space can accommodate as well, So I can't cite those examples now, but I'm sure even her, she can, if she thinks about it, she would know. Or you have a store where you are selling, maybe provisions, you can start doing the POS business there. You can start selling recharge card, those are things that will not take space, but you have the funds to do them. Just introducing complementary things or other businesses that, your space. Remember, you have to have the space for it. You have to have the time for it that you are able to do. Okay. And then you can also do investments. You can invest your funds, put them in investments. I'm not an investment expert. I only have learned and still learning, different ways that I can invest money. This month, this is September. I know that one of the investment companies that I use, Asetium, they called me and said, "Oh, madam, your investments will mature on so day. What we need for you to do a mail to us to tell us, what you want us to do. You want us to roll over? You want to?" No, I need some money, So I have to do a mail to them and say, "Give me the interest that has accrued, and then roll over the principal sum." So you can invest money. It's one of the safest ways. You just have to know a good investment outfit to use to invest your funds. But that's one of the safe ways, you can invest in. You can buy dollars, and keep in your domiciliary account. There are so many things. Just talk to an expert who can, help you with viable and productive investment opportunities. That's what I would say.
All right. Thank you so much for your inputs and well, good advice. Yes, because if you have so much funds, you want to also, have that funds make more money for you rather than it's sitting down. I mean, just the thought that occurred to you as well. While you had to beat yourself up to say, I mean, why do I have so much money just sitting in my bank when I could have used it? You would have thrown it into some investment for the money to make more money rather than just sit in an account and you're just having very little interest on it. So very quickly, I've been looking on the chat. I haven't seen. I don't know if Bless or Mr. Kuto. I don't know if you've seen any question from
You
participants.
remind people we have questions.
Sorry.
I think we can remind people to put their questions. They're not going to ask
Yes.
verbally.
Yeah. Okay. So again, the floor is well, not that the floor is open for um, voice questions, but we have encouraged everyone. If you have questions you would like to ask our panelists, you can drop them in the chat box. We have just 5 minutes for that because we're going to bring this session to a close very soon. So I believe we just have about 5 minutes to bring this whole session to a close. So I would advise that if we have one, let's quickly drop it in the chat box, and then our panelists, you can direct it to the panelists you would like to answer, and they will answer the question. And it's going to be very brief. We'll just take 2 minutes to answer that if you have any. Otherwise, would I will just ask them to give their closing remarks. 1 minute each for each of the panelists to give their closing remarks. But before then, I would quickly ask Mrs. Adefolu to give us in 1 minute the benefits of joining associations and networking. Because I see that, she, at least to also speak to the benefits and importance of networking and professional association membership. Just please, 1 minute, just give us insight into that. Thank you.
Please unmute.
No, you're still muted. Are you able to unmute?
Okay, yes, I have.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, my sister, for that question. It is very important, that we have association. We belong to association. I belong to many, and of course, I manage my time well to see how I can serve. And even till now, I serve on the board of Caring Arts Initiative, the defunct worldwide. I have ICSAN, AOPN, EPN, CIPN, Toastmaster, FISPACOS, Niger. We have the international one, the all students, church activity, and more, even past employers. And what do they do for me? When I have a need, when I think of what to do, I look in all of this. I have somebody somewhere that has one information somewhere. So with that, it has helped in networking, especially when we now have events. Is an opportunity to quickly take advantage to talk about maybe the work, as related to that. And opportunity also come. Somebody is thinking about, so you are giving them idea, I can do this for you, I can help you get somebody to do it and all that. So that is very important aspect, that we must belong to different clubs. People belong to their town meetings and all that, and they've had businesses, they have relationships, somebody, because they know that, I mean, people want to give business to somebody they can trust, and because they know you, they've known you, so it will be very easy to give businesses out. So it solidify relationship as well, and it also helps for a functional network, where it's rewarding. Now, to quickly now talk about for the young people, how they can leverage on this opportunity. So I'll quickly give, based on what I was able to come up with. When you go to events, you must, we have industry events, we have, social gathering, we have maybe all students, we have conferences and all that. Make sure that when you are at that meeting, you meet a minimum of 2 to 3 people that you have a meaningful engagement with. These 3 people that you are meeting, don't hang out with those people that you already know. It's easier for us to want to, talk and gist with old friends and all that. Always have in mind that I must meet 1 or 2 new people. Of course, when you are going, you go with your cards. You go with something that you can exchange contacts. And the second thing for me is that I
All right.
must
Thank you so
initiate.
much. Okay, so quickly on the second one, because we need to now wrap up because of
Okay,
time.
it's just
We want to keep to
initiate,
time.
interact, and introduce your business. Make sure you exchange card. And the one thing that is very key, anybody you meet within 24 hours to 48 hours, before they forget you must reach out to that person. Because if you don't, it's tendency that people are meeting everybody every day. So it's very important you get across to that person, and always offer to help as well, because you find a place where something to be done, offer to help without even expecting anything back. And before you know, you are getting more people. You are thinking about somebody in Dangote, you have met somebody 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that you have their card that you can quickly go back into and say, okay, I met somebody, and because you had that time that you met them, you chatted with them, you can easily refer to them. So let's not stop talking. Isaac said it, when you see anybody, never stop talking about what you do. It's very key. Oh, I'm into this, I'm into that. And thank God for discipleship. We easily interact with people irrespective of where they are coming from. That's it's also a given
Yeah.
for us that we must not take advantage to use it to benefit our businesses. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. I see Mr. Moses's hand up. Um, you can unmute and ask your question. Is it a question you want to ask? You can unmute and ask your question quickly as we wrap up, because we have just 6 minutes. So let's see who would be answering your question. Yes, please. Go ahead. You have the floor.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I
Good
want to
morning.
commend the national for throwing this up. It's a fantastic event. Every speaker has been incredible, incredibly fantastic. From the intro, from the chairman, and to Dr. Eme, and all of the panelists, fantastic. I've learned a lot. It was worth my time. I haven't said that. I wanted to find out if one want to cascade this down. Two things on my mind. The first is if we have a recorded video that we want to also play for our zone, not our block, northern block, or if we also can engage and bring one or two of your panelists to just be able to. It may not be as extensive as this, but to be able to actually come in and take care of a few stuff. I can tell you that for instance, some of the members of my block here, we really love the area of HR, how to be able to really manage their HR, their staff, and all of that, which Mrs. Adepolu is big on. Also, I love the fact that the ICT person, I just missed his name now.
Isaac.
We Isaac. Okay, so Isaac also will be fantastic in terms of marketing, brands, and all of that, and especially the AI. So I'm just looking at just being able to bless my block by really just sparing time to be able to really talk inside any of our meetings or invite them, and all that. So if that opportunity is available. Thank you once again. God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Visitation. Thank you so much for that. And I know that you're already clamoring for your block already. I just like that, the fact that you've thrown that in. So thank you for that, and I'm sure they would, they'll be more than willing to come join your block, and probably have that talk. So if we're able to get plan it on time, I'm sure they'll be able to make out time to do so. I see Tony. Please, you have the floor, and quickly.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good
I
morning.
want to thank you
Sorry,
for
just a
everyone
minute.
for. Oh, okay.
Also, but Tony can go. Thank you.
All right, thank
Okay,
you.
go on.
All right, thank you, the organizers, for this event. I think it's timely. So my question is simple and straight. I think I have two questions. First of all, I want to know. I think this is directed to Mrs. Adefulu because I believe she has a business that is standing, and then she must have gone through the phases from beginning to where she is today. I want to know, how can I keep accurate track of financial records? I know that I'm not really losing so much, but I am unable to keep track of money that comes in that is not from the bank. You understand? Especially when it's in a very fast-paced environment where how much you make depends on how fast you deliver. So I want to be able to keep track of everything. I want to know how that's possible. And secondly, how do you estimate the remuneration of your workers? How much you should be paying them? How do you size it up? I think that's basically the two questions. Thank you.
Okay. Before Mr. Defolu comes on, Chairman, I think I need to get permission because we're actually running out of time. We're supposed to be doing the closing by now. Each of them are supposed to just give us their closing remarks. So, Mr. Chairman, do we seek your permission to
Yeah,
give
so let's
2 minutes
just
to
extend.
answer, or a minute?
No, I can give up to 5 minutes for the response, and also because there are some questions on the platform which I want you to also answer. So between now and 9:10, we should conclude with that. Thank you. So we have up to 9:10 to do this.
Okay. All right then. Okay, so Mr. so that we can.
Okay. Thank you, our brother
Mr.
Tony,
Defolu?
for that.
Yeah.
Yes, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Yes,
So for the cash, definitely
you
any business that does not have
are.
account record taking, cannot be accountable for. So definitely whatever you are selling, I want to believe you have a cash sales record, or somebody is recording it somewhere somehow. And then there must be, sometimes you have some through POS, through cash, through whatever the case. Ensure that records are being kept. And even for the banks, you must do reconciliation. So you want to do it monthly, every 2 weeks. So just have a track record, tracking whatever money that is coming in vis-a-vis what you are selling. And that's where we need support. Like you said, maybe Isaac will also help us with some software that we can use, because now there are software that can help us take care of that. Now, in remuneration, there are industry standard, especially if you want to get, your core business. There are people that are more important than the other. So in paying, you prioritize what is key. If for me in operation, my operation is human resource. So I have all those ACPs that we call them, partners who are helping me to bring staff. So they are well remunerated. So what is key to your business that you are doing? Make sure you remunerate them. You know what is industry standard, because you also want to keep them maybe a little bit. If you've gotten a good staff, maybe a little bit. If they are paying 100,000, you want to give that person 100,005, I mean 105,000, just to ensure that you keep them. So it's very important. No, so somebody is also saying that we have QuickBooks, Excel sheet for financial recording. You must record for financial, and for your remuneration, you must also ensure that you know what is industry standard. But a lot of people also tell you that I can do this thing, but when they come, you realize and that's where you have probation. That if you start with this, if you are able to impress me, that I can increase whatever your pay is, because not everybody has said I know how to do the job until you get them on the business. That's when you realize that they don't even know. So probation is also important before you can also increase pay. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Adefolu. Thank you for taking those two questions. All right, so yes, and in addition to that, also be conversant with the regulatory provisions. That's very key. Depending on the number of staff you have, also find out how you are covered by law, because it's very important, to ensure that you're also doing what is right by the law, so that you don't have your business, doing well financially, but then, you start having problems with regulators. So it's important that you also know what the policies and the regulatory provisions are as regards, your people. Okay, so we're going to bring this to a close as we have our panelists. Just in one sentence, give us what they want us to take away with, what we should be thinking about even as we leave this session. Because I know so many things have been said, but as we always tell people, even if it's just one or two things that you would take away from this session, just hold on to those. And so what would that be for Mrs. Anolefo? You have the floor. One sentence of what you want people to take away with.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, what I want people to take away from this, for me, just to have the never say die spirit.
Yeah.
That gives consistency, and you just keep showing up no matter what.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very powerful. Very powerful. The never say die approach to things. Resilience. Yes. So, Mrs. Adefolu.
Okay. For me, we say nothing good come easy. And with that, you start the journey of your business or career and all that. It may not be all rosy, but just like my sister said, never die spirit. You must be determined. You must be resilient. You must also innovate. Like she also mentioned to us that if something is not working, you can look for another that you can. So innovation is also part of it. That you keep looking at what are better ways to get things done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we'll bring this to a close as we have Isaac share his final thoughts with us.
All right. What I would like every one of us to take home today is think about your customers. Start with your customers. Prioritize your customers. Everything should revolve around your customers and be consistent. Once you think about your customers, you care about their well-being, and you are consistent, they will always come back.
Thank you so much. And please, a round of applause. We want to see those applauds for our panelists. It's been an amazing session. I mean, I also have taken away quite a lot, so thank you so much for those nuggets, those wisdom, the insights that you've shared with us today. And you can see even the North Block is also, the North Central, they are also clamoring now for you to come give them a talk. So please, would appeal to you to oblige them. And hopefully you would have space in your calendar to squeeze them in, at some point. So, and I'm sure other blocks will be coming for you. So we just want to put that out there. So please um, do us the honor and oblige us, please, to entertain them and also make out time for them to, have this time as well. So thank you so much for all that you have shared. Thank you for the insights. Thank you for making our time to come. I know it was short notice, but you gave your all. Thank you so much. I now hand over to our chairman, Mr. Kuto. Thank you all.
Yeah, can I just say something? Before our guests leave, could they just mind turning on their video for the last time? We'll spotlight them with you,
Okay.
a screenshot to take a picture, just for
Yes.
pictures. Okay.
Mr. Adefolu.
Kakaro. Ata.
We're missing someone, Mr. Adefolu.
Yes, Mr. Adefolu, yes. You can bring her.
All right. Okay. We're going to, okay, making 6. So
Wonderful.
everybody smile, say cheese.
Cheese.
All right. So while they are there, if you want to appear, put on your video. This is the only time. If you want to join them, put on your video. So let's see. Let's see you. Okay. We're going to give 3 more seconds or 10 more seconds. You want to appear, these group pictures. All right. Last call. Say cheese, everyone.
Cheese.
All right. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Mr. Chairman, you have
so much. Thank you so much, Rita, for that session. I know a lot of people would have loved to ask, but it continues. I want to encourage, please, our panelists, please drop your contact in the chat box. People are asking, could be your WhatsApp number that they can chat you up. And then if you have your brochure, your social media link so that they can follow you and get more nuggets from you. Very important, like you said, at platforms like this, everybody might not be able to speak, but they can have your contact for business and for other purposes. Thank you very much. Also, for the various block that I want the facilitator to speak at your program, just let us know at the central block and we'll contact them and see what is feasible. I'm sure they are willing to. We can coordinate that for you, and that's why we're here. So that will not be a problem. Okay, thank you very much. At this point, we're coming to an end. A quick announcement. I'm going to call on our brother Ayo to give a quick announcement before we have the closing prayer. Thank you. Ayo, please, you have the floor for the announcement.
Good morning once again. Thank you so much to all our fantastic speakers, panelists, the moderator, the entire organizers of this wonderful and very rewarding engagement, the September knowledge sharing session. We're truly, truly appreciative of all the efforts that have actually gone into the planning. So my role here is essentially to remind us or to put before us the announcements. In the course of this engagement, this webinar, we've had links posted in the chat box. I want to remind every one of us, the link is for the registration. So cohort members, if you have not registered, if you are not yet a member of BPM, then you are yet to realize the full potentials, the full offerings that BPM has to offer. So I want to encourage us this morning to avail ourselves of that opportunity. Stroll up, you will see the link. Please click on the link and complete your registration so that you can be a bona fide member of the BPM. The second announcement is that the September cohort reports and any other outstanding reports from our various cohorts is due on the 30th of September. Please, cohort leads, cohort lead assistants, let's ensure that we turn in our reports. I'm told for that reports from some cohorts, even reports for May, June, July, and August are due. So we just need to ensure that we turn that in. And so that we can be correctly accounted for in terms of our activities. The third announcement is the WAM Council meeting, which is scheduled to hold in less than an hour from now, precisely 10 a.m. This is a reminder to all our council members to remember to join. I think it's the same link that we're going to use. It is 10 a.m. All WAM council members, please join for the meeting. And of course, as Dr. Emir has already put out there to us, we'll be starting with a new book, The Atomic Habits by James Clear. We will have the PDF version and also the audio version. And in addition, the daily readings that are for our quiet times to help us. This will be shared in the new week. Thank you so much. Those are the announcements. God bless you. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much, Chief Mayor. Just a bit of clarification. The link we shared is for the 2026 SAMP program. So for those of our current members and new people that have the privilege of joining in today, you can start registering in advance. Like the doctor said, it's a process. You first register, we have classes for training, and then the opportunity to then be part of the cohort. But this being part of the training session is a prerequisite. And so the link is for you to register for the 2026 SAMP program. Well, it's an early opportunity to register, so you don't forget it will continue to early next year, where it will be closed and then the process will start. We're going to start early next year. So, and that's why we're opening up the registration early this time. So please, many people that couldn't do that this year, you have the opportunity right now to register in advance. So please take advantage of that. For cohort members already who are yet to formally register with BPM as members, so we have that that will be shared on our blog in the general platform, the leads and assistant platform. We're going to forward that link again for the BPM registration. But what we have here is the link for the 2026 program. So let's note that. Thank you very much. At this point, we're closing up, and I want to call on our brother. I know Mr. Wallary started us off, so let me call on our big brother, my uncle, my friend, Mr. Adebajo Adebule, if you can close us out with a closing prayer. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you, everyone. Mr. Baju Adebule, are you available to speak?
Yes, I am. Good morning, everyone.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I just want to start by thanking the BPM Central Leadership for this wonderful session we've had this morning and for bringing our awesome sisters who are great examples of resilience and innovation and success. It's great to have our wee come to inspire us. And I really want to commend them and also thank our brother Isaac Obodo for those nuggets of wisdom that have been transmitted to us this morning. Thank you so much once again, everyone. Let us go to God in prayer. Our Father and our God, we thank you so much for the gracious gift of life. Father, we're so grateful for the opportunity to be able to participate in this awesome session this morning. We thank you, God, for putting it on our hearts to join this SAMP program. And Father, we thank you so much for all that we have been learning, for the transformation in our lives, in our business lives, in our personal lives, even in our family, and in our service in your kingdom. Father, we thank you, God, for the relationships that have been built in our cohorts, for the companionship that we have been able to enjoy, for the encouragement we have received, for the familyhood that we're experiencing, and for the support that we're all getting as we meet together every week. Father, I pray, God, that all this will serve to advance your kingdom in an incredible way. We thank you so much for the vision you've given the SAMP leadership and the BPM leadership. And I pray, God, that you continue to to lead them powerfully, and you will sustain them in this incredible work that they've embarked upon. I pray, God, that as we round up this program for this year, that we'll continue to hear great news of growth, of success, of achievement, of personal transformation as we inculcate the lessons we have been learning, and as we take it into the new year, and we start achieving even some of the goals that we're yet to achieve at this time. We thank you so much for our sisters and our brother who have